Welcome to Meet My Business, the podcast where real businesses tell their real stories. My guest today is Jaco Steenberg. Jaco, welcome here to the Meet My Business podcast.
Thank you, Indra.
Tell me, how was your drive here?
Good, actually. I came early, so I missed most of the traffic. And I just, it was a good drive. And yours?
No, I went around the traffic, so I missed all of it. So
Fantastic.
I was here a little bit before I thought I was going to be here.
Yeah.
So, Jaco, you're in the insurance industry.
I'm a financial advisor at Old Mutual. So we do holistic planning for our clients. We help our clients reach their financial goals, so more focusing on the long-term insurance industry and investments is really my passion.
So tell me a story about a client who had a problem that you had the solution for, but tell me what problem they had, how they found you, and how that problem presented in their life.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you about a client of mine. Obviously, I changed the name, but let's call him Andre. He came to me. So the problem was he's not reaching his goals. So he wants to save for instance, he wants to one day be able to retire with his wife. He wants to send his children to good universities. But the strategies that he's currently trying to get to those goals is not working for him. Himself is not consistent enough in it, and he's also not really going and receiving advice. He's just trying to DIY it.
Cool. Tell me a little bit about yourself, who you are as a person.
So, I'm Jaco. As a person, I'm a father. Firstly, I'm a husband, married to a wonderful wife. We like the nature. We like getting outdoors. We go a lot to the Kruger and to most of our river reserves in our country. So that's typically, I'm an avid birder, although I don't actually know the birds' names yet. So people ask me, what is that? I don't know yet. I'm still learning. But we are avid outdoors people, and
There is a lovely Sasol book on birding, which has got the sound effects and birds as well.
But they all look the same. When you're there out there, we had a guy from the birding club. He's like, because I'm like, I saw this. I can't remember what it was. It was a rayer or something, and he told me, no, it's if you saw that bird where you said you saw it, you'll be the first person in like 80 years I've recorded birding in South Africa that saw that bird there, and he pointed to what it actually should be. So we're still, even with the Sasol book, it's still difficult.
So tell me, what does an average day or a normal day look like for you? What is your routine during a working day?
So in a working day, always start off dropping my daughter at school. Then I go to the office. I'm so lucky. My wife also works for me. She's in our practice. So we drive together to work, get everything sorted at the office, get all the meetings lined up for the day, check in with everyone. And then I'm anywhere from Tanny's sitting room, drinking coffee with her and planning out her retirement, to a young person in their office, giving advice on how to start out saving and how to invest and how to protect those goals that he then has. So typical day isn't always typical, but I see a bunch of people every day. I have different life stages that I see every single day. People starting out, people still planning, people already retiring, people already retired. We do, so a typical day is quite vast.
And how did you get into this industry?
So I actually, since high school, I was very interested in finances and numbers and the markets and stuff like that. Always researching stocks and looking at all these kind of things. But I actually have a funny story. My my mother used to work for Sanlam, and when I told her, no, I want to manage people's finances, she said, no, there doesn't exist a job like that. So I had to find out that there is actually such a thing as a financial advisor. So I was in quite a few other careers. When I reached 25, which is luckily the date where Old Mutual starts hiring people, I saw an ad for that, and I said, okay, no, I'm going to try that out. And I fell in love with the career, the helping of people, showing them how to actually invest your money, how to protect your goals, how to reach those goals. That's a passion of mine.
So what do your friends think you do?
So I think I have a very tight friend group, and at the beginning, and most financial advisors would know, at the beginning it's quite a difficult thing, but my friend group actually, luckily, all needed financial advice. I don't know if they just felt sorry for me and they wanted to be my clients or what, but I sat with all of them, and I have done vast planning with most of my friends. So most of them know exactly what I do because I tell them every time we have our review meetings and stuff like that. But it's not always, you have to still educate them every single time, that I don't just sell policies. I give proper advice, and that we need to sit and do that planning with them, because a lot of them, being friends, they're like, we know Jaco has it, but you have to give that education to your clients as well, so that they know they're on the right track, and that they know what their actual goals is and stuff like that.
So let's go back to that 25-year-old Jaco who researched and found there is such a thing as a financial planner. What was that like, your first days at Old Mutual?
The first days back then was quite hectic. We didn't have Teams yet, so we actually had to go to a different office to do our training and stuff like that. You do, I think for 3 months, you do product training. And at that stage, you think that's what it's all about. You need to know the products. You need to know, if a client asks you what a life cover is, or what an investment is, or what anything like that, you need to now know what the actual product is. Only later you find out that that's obviously a crucial part, is knowing that, having that knowledge. But the actual thing is having that relationship with your clients where you can tell them that, yes, there is products and stuff like that, but we need to be looking at what is your goals, how you're going to reach them, looking at their budgets, looking at a whole picture of a client, not just what products is going to fit in there. And then also how to protect those goals. So if you're now looking at saving for your children's education, obviously if you lose your job, or if you pass away or something like that, you still want your children to go to university. Mm-hmm. So it's those things that you don't realize as a 25-year-old, that at that stage, I think I was married for 1 year at that stage. So we didn't even have a child yet or anything. So you don't think of all that deeper things until you really go and sit with clients that's been through proper life experience, that's maybe lost jobs, that's lost people in their lives, and then only you realize how important that planning phase is.
So when we think of what a job is like, we always have these illusions. It's going to be this, and I'm going to make so much money. When you started work, the reality of what the job was versus your expectation, what was that gap, and how did you bridge that?
Yeah, I have a dear friend of mine that always says, Jaco is just always playing golf or sitting somewhere eating with a client. And you don't really realize the actual planning that goes into that 30-minute, 1 hour meeting. You need to go and go through all the financials, go through a proper budget, all that kind of stuff that you don't at the beginning realize that's actually what it's about. That's where the gap is giving that proper advice, not just going from client to client and trying to sell a product.
So you're not flogging insurance policies. You're actually giving proper advice.
Yeah, no, we need to give proper advice, because at the end of the day, if you flog a product, someone will have a product that they now, maybe their dad or someone told them, you must get life cover or you must save for retirement or whatever. And we were at a seminar with Brian Abana the one time, and he said, he signed up for a bunch of retirement annuities, and a retirement annuity, for instance, only pays out at 55. So he retired way before his retirement package came into play. So you need to know that client, have that relationship with the client to know that this is actually when they're going to need this product. This is how their life picture is, so that you can then get back to that place where then suggesting maybe this is the product that's right for you or whatever. But having them in a place where they can receive that product, because it doesn't help you say to them, okay, you need this and this and this products, but you haven't done a proper budget. You haven't seen what's actually important to that client to get to that part. Yeah.
Was there a moment in the early days when you thought of giving up?
I think in the early days, you probably think of giving up every month. My wife at one stage told me, you can go get a job that pays 5,000 Rand a month, because then at least we know we're getting 5,000 Rand a month. And I said to her, no, just hold on, we're going to figure this thing out. And building that relationships with the clients, it obviously gets to a point where it's much more stable and stuff like that. And that real passion that you have for it, it puts you in a place where you can say, no, hold on, we'll get to a point where this is properly taking care of us as well. But just you have to hold on that first few months. We had luckily a lot of advisors in Old Mutual that can tell you, just hold on, you'll get there. And that's what you just have to do. You just have to bite fast, like the Afrikaans saying is, and just get to that point where your relationship pays off. Yeah.
What do you know now that you wish you had known when you started?
I think what I know now that I wish I knew was just sitting with clients and going through every single aspect, telling clients what their decisions, the repercussions of their decisions is. If you're now with a client that they want to go on a holiday or whatever, and they're stopping their retirement annuity, showing them the repercussions of that, showing them how much. Also, at the beginning, you're at the stage where you're scared to tell someone that, you see, you didn't save for till you were 40 or 45 or 50 or whatever. Now you want to start saving for retirement. You have to take that client to a place where you have to tell them, okay, you're now going to need to save 10,000, 15,000 Rand a month to really get to the retirement you want. Otherwise, you're going to sit with another type of retirement. And at the beginning, it's hard to tell someone that. I mean, you're most months maybe not even making that much money, and now you're telling a client that you need to put down 20,000 Rand a month, or whatever the case may be. That's now extreme situations that I'm mentioning, but having that guts to sit with the clients and tell them this is what you need, then we can reach your goals. Otherwise, there's different ways that we need to do this. We need to look at your budget. And when I say look at a budget, I mean send me 3 months bank statements so that I can say to you, this is how much takeaways you eat. This is the DStv bill, whatever the case may be. That you can make space for that savings that you need.
Imagine somebody comes to you and they have no cooking clue what you're doing. How would you explain it to them?
What I like to explain to them, and this comes into the part where I really have a passion for it as well, is I help people reach their goals. So financially speaking now. So whatever your financial goal is, put that on the table with me, and then we sit and focus on that. We don't need to talk about what a life cover is or what a investment policy is or anything like that. Let's talk about what you are saving towards, what you want to reach in your life, and then we can sit and plan that out exactly and take it from there.
And who is your ideal client?
My ideal client, I have a little acronym that I use that I borrowed from a fellow American advisor. My ideal client that I'm looking for is called a Henry. So it's a high earner, not rich yet.
Oh.
So it's someone that's earning the income, that's that reach their goals in their career, but still feel that they're not in a space where they can then take that and say, okay, I'm ready to retire, or I want to buy a vacation home, or I want to send my children to university, or I want to buy a car cash, or whatever the case may be. He feels that he or she feels that the place where they are should have some savings already and a proper emergency fund and stuff like that. And they're not there yet. So I like sitting with those people, planning that out for them and showing them how to reach that and why they're not currently reaching it.
Okay. So imagine somebody is contacting you for the first time. What does the process look like from first contact to when they've reached, or you've reached your goal with them?
Yeah. So every client is unique, but the process we follow is we sit. It's called the 6 steps of financial planning. That's a whole bunch of stuff that we need to go through, introductions and planning and all that kind of stuff. But you sit with a client, you can do a physical meeting or a Teams meeting or whatever. And the first thing I like to discuss with a client is getting to a place where we know what they actually want to get out of this. A lot of clients just come to me and say, no, Jaco, I want a life policy. Then if you ask them, why do you want a life policy? They don't know. They know that someone said that's something that you need to do as an adult, and they don't know why. So you need to get a client first to trust you, have a relationship with you, and then get to a point where we can have that conversation as to why do you want this thing? Is this to protect your goals? Is it to eradicate debt? Maybe if something happens to you, is it to protect your family? Is it whatever that actual reasoning behind it is, to get to that? Then we sit obviously with the budget, go through the budget, see where this is going to fit in actually. Is it going to fit into the budget, or are we going to have to maybe start out smaller, put a automatic increase in it, or whatever the case may be? And then we go to, okay, this is the budget, this is the goal. Then only do we fit the product to that situation. So then you go and you see, okay, this might work, or we say, okay, you're in the right place. You have an emergency fund in place. You have your goal, working on that. We're happy. You can continue. But it's just at that stage then that you put the products in place as well.
So over the years, you must have found a way of doing what you do. It's slightly different to what your colleagues might be doing. What sets you apart from the other financial advisors?
I think it's really the relationship I have with my clients. It's you have to really be part of your clients' lives and know what they're going through and stuff like that. So you have to have that close relationship before you really can recommend the correct advice to them. So yeah, I think it's that time I spend with my clients to really know them and know the situations that they are in.
So let's talk about the benefits of what you do. What changes for a client after they've had these conversations with you? Not what you did, but what was different for them?
I really hope that it is that once I leave there, they have a real sense of peace of mind. I hope that they are educated when I leave there. So that they know more about their own finances and about how to go about reaching their goals. So that really education part, and that they know that they have someone that they can trust and rely on when it comes to reaching their goals.
And some of the feedback you've gotten from clients?
I think really my best feedback that I get is when people really reach that goals. And that's also a thing that even if you feel like you're struggling in this career or anything like that, that's really worth sticking to it, because when you reach year 5 or 6 or 7 and you start getting those clients that you started with, really reaching those goals, going on retirement, going and buying that house that they wanted to buy, their kids growing up, going to university, stuff like that, that's a massive rewarding point of the career. And that's really the thing that I love and that I'm passionate about. Yeah.
So how many years have you been doing this?
I'm now 8 years.
8 years. So over the past 8 years, what was the best outcome you managed to get for a client? Give me one example.
If we're referring to the best outcome, it's a bit of a sad outcome, but the story that I was telling at the beginning about Andre, we put a lot of effort into that, and we set him up to not only achieve his goals, but really protect his goals. And he came to a place where he realized, okay, I need to save for my retirement. I need to save sending my children. I know he was sending his children to school and stuff like that. But also that those, and that's what I've been referring to a few times now, is that those goals needs to be protected. So if something should happen to him, that he still is able to provide that to his family. And that is unfortunately what happened. I think it was about 1.5 years after I saw him and we did our first planning session that Andre unfortunately passed away. And why that's my best outcome, unfortunately for him, but his family was sorted. And although it was a very sad time in their lives, obviously, they knew that at least they don't need to worry about the financial side. They are taken care of. And that's really a difficult thing to go through with a family, but just having that little bit of good news for them at least helps.
Is this typical outcome or this one is special?
So this is the ideal outcome. A lot of clients, unfortunately, they never get there. Unfortunately, there is clients that cancel their policies, that life happens. And that's why it's so important to always focus on the goals, so that if a client calls and says, no, I can't afford this anymore, I need to cancel a policy, that we can tell them, this is what you said, this is the goals you are working towards, and are you sure you want to? So in the years now, it's getting to a point where a lot more clients are holding on to those policies and are really cherishing them, because you are now explaining to them that this is your future that you're working with. So I would say it's not typical in the industry, but it's getting more typical in our practice that happens.
So while you're talking, it makes me think like you're having a long-term relationship with your clients. It's not just you go in, you sell them something and off you go.
Yes, yeah, no, definitely it's a long-term relationship. It's a relationship that hopefully lasts till either something happens to me or something happens to them, or I go on retirement. And that's also a big accolade that I have, is I took over clients from an advisor also that retired. And just for him saying, okay, I have that faith in you, I'm going to pass that relationship over. And me sitting now 8 years in this industry and knowing how valuable that and how much time and effort goes into that relationship, it was really an accolade for me to receive that. Yeah.
So we live in a country that is rich people and very poor people. Many people, I think, don't have the finances to do financial planning. How do we deal with that problem? Do you see people like that really don't have much of an income and still want to do this? Or is this only really for people that have sufficient income?
No, so at the end of the day, I think it's a gap of income, but it's also a gap of education. So I regularly sit with clients that, because it's such a passion of mine, I don't mind sitting with someone that really says to me, I can't afford anything, but I want to get to a place where this is affordable for me, where I can take out this monthly income, and then sitting with them and guiding them as to, with your smaller salary, or sometimes in South Africa, very erratic salary as well. A lot of people, 1 month they have work, 1 month they don't have work, or week to week or whatever. How you can start building up that little bit of an emergency fund, because that's really your starting point of building wealth, is getting to that where you can handle an emergency without going into credit. So yeah, I regularly sit with clients like that, and then the main focus is just education. So you need to educate, you need to get as much financial education as possible when you are not earning a higher income, and that will hopefully get you to a point where you can see better opportunities in the market to earn a better income, or just budget with what you have, to get to a little bit of a nest egg at least, and then having that freedom then that emergency fund provides you, not to go into credit, not to have that extra monthly costs on you, that you then can later focus on actually start saving and investing.
So it sounds to me like education is a big part of what you do.
Yes.
So if you could explain in a short, punchy way to our listener and our viewer here why they need a financial planner.
So a financial planner is like having a cheerleader and a coach and everything on your side. So it's something where you really need to sit with someone, bounce their ideas off of them, and get to a point where you're really educated and to have a good understanding of what you need to achieve.
I remember when I was just fresh out of school and in university, somebody asked me, what is your plan for your life? And I had no idea. And now 40 years later, that plan has come to fruition. Do you think this is something one needs to do from a very young age?
Ideally, yes. We have a lot of financial models and stuff that show that if you start at a stage in your 20s versus someone that just a few years later started in their 30s, the 25-year-old that's on the minimum saving amount that they can be still outperforms the 30-year-old that's now playing catch up and paying more money in and all sorts of stuff just to get that. Because of compound interest, it will always work in your favor to start out younger.
How do people find you? You're online?
So we are online. We're on Facebook under Steenberg and Associates, which is like my little own brand that Old Mutual allows me to have. Otherwise, they can phone me 084 5699 258, or they can give me an email, jsteenberg@oldmutual.com.
And of course, all these will be in the descriptions and on the website. So is there something specific you would like the listener to do when they get to your Facebook page or your website?
At this stage, you can really just share what you see on there, get that education out there. But most important is educating ourselves so that we can then spread it out. So please make an appointment with me. It's free of charge. We sit and we talk about your finances. Maybe you get something out of it.
Maybe you get some education out of it.
Yeah, some education, yeah.
Awesome. Jaco, thank you very much.
Thank you, Henry.
Cool. And that is exactly why stories like this need to be told. Thank you so much for being so open about your journey today. If what you heard today resonated with you and you want to find out more about the business we discussed today, Every guest we've ever had on Meet My Business, their business name, episode number and direct link lives in one place. Head over to baird.media/meetmybusiness.